So, I know some people say not to dwell on the past, it doesn't matter. The best revenge is a life well lived. Do good for yourself, be happy, and that'll be enough. The problem here is that my happy moments, my good moments, they're taken by these people and used to hurt me. For instance, my aunt is posting pictures of me smiling at her daughter's wedding. Or maybe her son's wedding, I don't know. I went to a lot of weddings back then. The bitch has a lot of kids. Um, and I was with my grandmother, so I went to the weddings. Weddings are happy occasions. You would expect anybody to smile at a wedding. My aunt is using these pictures to discredit my pain, to say, well, see how happy you were? There was no pain. There was no sadness. There was no abuse or mental illness. Look how happy you are at my daughter's wedding. If you can be happy at a wedding, then obviously you're always happy and just lying about your emotions. So if I get to a point in my life where I'm happy, they'll say, see, we knew you were lying. We knew you weren't really sad. We knew you weren't really sick. We knew you were lying or you wouldn't ever found a way to be happy. We knew you were lying or you would never find a way to move up. I'm stuck now in a hole. And if I climb out of that hole, they are there to kick me and scream at me and tell me that they knew I would eventually climb up and stop pretending. I come from the type of family where if you don't know how to do something and you later learn, they shove it in your face and say, see, you always knew how to do it. You were just lying about not knowing how before. You were always capable. You're just weak and pathetic and didn't try. It can't ever be enough to move forward. And they did this just 2 weeks ago with my other phone, with this one here, the new phone, the government phone. Because last year, I couldn't do the government phone. I had one before, and it was stolen, and I couldn't turn it off. And so every time I went to the social services office, these phone people would harangue me and tell me, just let me try, just let us run it through. And I knew it wasn't going to go through. And so I freaked out and I would fight these fucking people because I was so emotionally amped up and they would not leave me alone. Every corner there are these fucking phone people. And even if you tell them no, they'll say, well, why not? Can't we just try it out? It is frustrating, especially when you know the answer is going to be no. And they are still insisting to try. So couple of weeks ago when I went to the social services office and they started asking me about the phone and I was stuck in line, I decided to let them try. And it came through and it worked. And now, because I have that phone, they're using that as evidence that I was making up my anxieties and problems with the phone people before, or that I'm making up that I have the government phone now. They're using it to say, see, either she was never afraid of these people, or she is still afraid of them and she used money to buy a new phone. Either way, this government phone proves that Mary is a liar. It can't possibly prove that Mary has adjusted slightly and learned to cope and progressed just a little tiny fraction of an inch in life. Because the people who are following me will never see it that way. They will always use it to put me down, to belittle me, to diminish me, to hurt me. And I'm surrounded by them, and I always have been because it's my family. My own family does this. And they have since I was a child. Because my aunt is a narcissist. She is literally terrified of me moving up in life and possibly getting to a point where I've done more than she has. She's so mad I published a book. She said she's going to publish her own book because I published mine. Don't publish a book because I published one. Do it because you want to do it. Why do you always have to upstage me? Do something because you want to for yourself, not because you have to be better than me. Beat me down. Prove me wrong. It's frustrating, and it makes me feel hopeless. Entirely powerless. And fearful of being happy. Y'all ask why I document my tears. Because any amount of happiness I've shown is proof that I'm not sad. So how many hours of crying does it take to override one smile in a photograph from 10 years ago? I show both sides because I'm not trying to manipulate the facts. I'm trying to tell my truth. And I have been this entire time. They manipulate the facts by dragging out pictures from a decade ago and saying, "See how happy you are, you liar." Things change a lot. Things have changed a lot just in the past 5 years. But it didn't change for them. So they can't accept mine. They can't accept it. My aunt cannot accept that my father was abusive, even though she knew it. And she's going to continue lying and telling everybody else that he wasn't, when she knows the truth. And if people would really listen, they would hear her going back and forth saying contradictory things from video to video. But they're not paying enough attention to it because all they're looking for is something they can use to beat me down. This type of bullying is designed to kill the victim. I am not being dramatic when I say that. There is literally nothing I can do that will not result in me being attacked. If I'm crying, they attack me. If I'm smiling, they attack me. If I'm growing, they attack me. If I stop growing, they attack me. If I own nothing, they attack me. If I buy myself something, they attack me. There is nothing I can do except die to make this end. But I won't stop documenting it. Because after it's over, people will be able to find these videos and see the true toll and terror that cyberbullying does to the mentally unwell. And they are specifically seeking out the mentally unwell because they're stronger mentally and they know that they can break me. They chose me to kill this way specifically because of how weak and sick I am. And now even if I do get better, it'll just be used to beat me down again.